The world of entertainment was already buzzing, but nothing could have prepared fans for the storm that erupted when Dave Chappelle took the stage and delivered a revelation that sent shockwaves through every corner of the industry. It all began during a late-night special that promised laughs but quickly turned into a whirlwind of secrets, accusations, and raw emotion. As the audience laughed nervously at his usual biting humor, Chappelle's tone shifted, his eyes scanning the crowd with a gravity that instantly silenced the room. "Some things," he began, his voice low but piercing, "aren't meant for the spotlight." Until now, from the first word, it was clear that what he was about to reveal would not only shake the public's perception of Charlie Kirk's seemingly perfect life, but also expose a side of the political and entertainment world that fans never suspected. Whispers spread through the audience like wildfire. Phones came out. Social media lit up. The tension was palpable. You could almost feel the room holding its collective breath as Chappelle hinted at personal secrets, undisclosed dealings, and betrayals that had been carefully hidden behind closed doors. The revelation wasn't just shocking, it was personal. It involved Charlie Kirk's wife, a figure who had long been considered untouchable in the public eye, a symbol of composure and grace. But Chappelle, with his trademark mix of sharp wit and unflinching honesty, peeled back the layers, suggesting that appearances had deceived everyone. "The industry," he said, pausing for effect, "is full of monsters. And sometimes the monsters live closer than you think." Gasps echoed through the room. Some fans laughed nervously, unsure whether to treat it as comedy or calamity. Others felt a chill, sensing that something monumental was unfolding in real time. As the story began to unravel, the stakes became higher. Chappelle's hints pointed toward family conflicts, hidden alliances, and private conversations that had been recorded or worse, leaked. The room was tense with anticipation, everyone craving the next detail, every revelation hitting like a shockwave. Questions swirled. What had been hidden behind the perfect Instagram posts? Which alliances would crumble under the weight of truth? How deep did the industry's shadowy dealings go? And most importantly, how would Charlie Kirk react when confronted with a storm that could not be ignored? Fans were already on edge, glued to every word. As Chappelle masterfully painted a scene of deception, betrayal, and intrigue that seemed ripped from the pages of a Hollywood thriller, the energy was electric. Emotions ran high. Some laughed, some gasped, and some shook their heads in disbelief, unable to reconcile the charming public image with the private reality being exposed. By the end of the night, it was clear the family was left divided, the industry stunned, and viewers at home were left wondering just how far the truth would go and whether anyone could survive its fallout. The stage was set for a drama of epic proportions, a story that would dominate headlines, ignite social media debates, and leave fans questioning everything they thought they knew. And as you watch this unfold, you will witness the unraveling of secrets that some people prayed would never see the light of day. Prepare yourself, because once this story breaks, there is no turning back. The tension backstage was palpable. A heavy mix of anticipation and dread hanging in the air as the cameras rolled and the crew hustled around. Everyone knew something was about to break, something that would ripple across both entertainment and political circles in ways that no one could have predicted. Dave Chappelle, usually composed and effortlessly confident, paced slowly near the green room, his mind racing with the details he was about to unleash. Fans outside had no idea that tonight's show, billed as just another late-night special, would turn into a full-blown spectacle of secrets, betrayals, and family drama that would dominate headlines for weeks. As the lights dimmed and the audience settled, Chappelle walked onto the stage with that familiar swagger. But there was a fire in his eyes, a seriousness that immediately commanded attention. "Tonight," he began, pausing as the room leaned in, "we're not just here for laughs. We're here for the truth." The words were simple, but the weight behind them caused a ripple through the audience. Murmurs spread like wildfire, and social media instantly exploded with speculation. What could Chappelle possibly reveal about Charlie Kirk's life that would justify this tone? The story began with subtle hints, teasing the audience before hitting them with the first jolt of drama. Chappelle recounted his encounters with key figures behind the scenes, describing private conversations and moments that had been hidden from public view. He spoke of whispered warnings, hushed phone calls, and discreet meetings that, until now, had remained a secret. "You think you know someone," he said, shaking his head, "but sometimes the truth is buried under layers of lies, carefully curated smiles, and perfect Instagram posts." The audience's reaction was a mix of nervous laughter and stunned silence, each word landing like a carefully aimed punch. Then came the first revelation. Chappelle, leaning forward with intensity, disclosed that Charlie Kirk's wife had been involved in a series of private decisions and interactions that had shocked even the most seasoned insiders. The implications were immediate. Fans were shocked. Journalists scribbled furiously, and the entire industry seemed to hold its breath. The tension was electric. The idea that someone so publicly poised could harbor secrets that might unravel. Her family's public image caused a ripple of disbelief. Chappelle's delivery was flawless, blending humor and seriousness in a way that made the story feel both real and impossible to ignore. As the narrative unfolded, Chappelle revealed the stakes were far higher than anyone could imagine. The secrets weren't just about personal missteps. They involved strategic alliances, professional manipulatives, and conflicts that extended into the very core of the entertainment industry. Insiders whispered about deals made in backrooms, favors exchanged in shadowed corners, and moments captured in private that could ruin reputations overnight. "The industry has monsters," Chappelle said, letting the words hang, "and some of them live closer than you think." Gasps swept through the audience. Some laughed nervously, unsure if they were witnessing comedy or calamity. Others were silent, their faces pale, sensing the gravity of what was being revealed. The story intensified as Chappelle began recounting specific incidents that painted a picture of betrayal and familial tension. Charlie Kirk's wife, described as elegant and composed in public, had apparently been maneuvering behind closed doors in ways that left family members and close friends blindsided. Arguments that had seemed minor to outsiders were now revealed as pivotal clashes that shaped decisions and determined allegiances. Text messages were leaked, screenshots shown, and private recordings referenced, all of which painted a portrait of a household on the brink of internal collapse. Emotions ran high, and Chappelle masterfully layered each revelation with dramatic pauses, letting the audience absorb the magnitude of each disclosure. The unfolding drama didn't stop there. Chappelle brought in reactions from those close to the family, describing how siblings, advisors, and friends had responded once the truth began to surface. Some were supportive, some defensive, and some openly conflicted. These conflicting emotions created a tangled web that made the situation even more volatile. As fans watched and social media users debated, the narrative painted a portrait of a family divided, a household where trust had been tested to its breaking point. "You think it's simple," Chappelle said, voice low and piercing. "But when the truth hits, everyone reacts differently. And some reactions, well, they're explosive." At the heart of this tale was a confrontation that had reportedly occurred just weeks earlier. Chappelle described a private dinner where Charlie Kirk, his wife, and a few close confidants gathered, and tempers flared in a way that few outsiders could have imagined. Voices rose, accusations were hurled, and long-held grievances came to the surface. According to Chappelle, the argument revealed hidden fractures, alliances that had shifted silently over months, and decisions made in secrecy that now threatened to undo carefully constructed facades. The audience could almost see the tension in the room, hear the harsh words, and feel the tremors of betrayal shaking the foundation of what many had believed to be a perfect household. But Chappelle wasn't done. As the narrative progressed, he introduced unexpected twists that made the story feel like a roller coaster of suspense. Revelations about professional decisions intersecting with personal choices, friends turning into critics, and confidants who suddenly became whistleblowers kept everyone on edge. Each twist raised the stakes, creating a sense that no one was safe from scrutiny and that the fallout could impact far more than just one family. Fans were captivated, glued to their screens, desperate to understand who would emerge unscathed and who would be exposed in the public eye. The tension reached a crescendo when Chappelle revealed that certain industry players had allegedly attempted to intervene, offering counsel, favors, or even veiled threats to control the narrative. These interventions, he suggested, had only intensified the drama, revealing hidden agendas and deep-seated rivalries that added layers of complexity to an already explosive situation. The audience reacted with a mixture of disbelief and fascination. Realizing that this story went far beyond a single household, it was a glimpse into the inner workings of power, influence, and secrecy at the highest levels of entertainment and politics. Throughout the unfolding saga, Chappelle punctuated his storytelling with moments of levity, humor, and irony, keeping the audience engaged while never letting them forget the gravity of the revelations. The blend of suspense and satire created an atmosphere where every laugh was tinged with shock, and every gasp carried a sense of impending consequence. Fans on social media speculated wildly, debates raged, and the story spread like wildfire, each new piece of information adding fuel to the fire. The night ended with a cliffhanger, a hint that more secrets were yet to be revealed, more confrontations waiting in the shadows, and more betrayals lurking just out of sight. The audience was left stunned, buzzing with speculation, and hungry for the next installment of what had already become one of the most sensational revelations of the year. The industry, the family, and the public were all caught in a whirlwind, unsure how the next chapter would unfold. Chappelle's words had set the stage for a drama that promised to consume attention for weeks. leaving no one untouched by the revelations that had been so explosively revealed. The fallout was immediate. Fans debated every detail online, dissecting Chappelle's words and analyzing the implications for Charlie Kirk, his wife, and those close to them. Every social media platform became a battlefield of opinions, theories, and shocking reactions. Insiders hinted at secret meetings. Journalists scrambled to confirm details, and the family itself faced questions it had long avoided. The tension between private life and public image had never been more apparent, and Chappelle's performance had made it impossible to ignore. By the end of the show, it was clear that this was just the beginning. The secrets had been exposed, the cracks in relationships revealed, and the industry left to grapple with the notion that nothing is ever truly hidden. The stage was set for a continuing saga of confrontation, revelation, and drama that would unfold over time, keeping audiences on edge and viewers glued to every update. Emotions ran high, alliances shifted, and the story promised to become even more explosive as the consequences of these revelations began to ripple outward. Fans left the theater buzzing, unable to stop talking about what they had witnessed. Some were laughing nervously, others were visibly shaken, and all were anticipating the next installment. Chappelle had done more than deliver a performance. He had unveiled a narrative that blurred the lines between comedy, drama, and reality, leaving a trail of questions, shock, and intrigue in his wake. The world had been warned. Nothing was off limits, and no secret would remain buried forever. The industry had been exposed, the family divided, and the public left hungry for answers that were just beginning to surface. The night's revelations would dominate headlines, drive online conversations, and spark debates about trust, loyalty, and the hidden truths behind the polished public images of celebrities and influencers. Dave Chappelle had ignited a firestorm that would not easily be extinguished, leaving everyone from fans to insiders to family members scrambling to process the truths that had finally been laid bare. Every word he had spoken carried weight, every pause charged with suspense, and every revelation guaranteed to leave a lasting impact on everyone involved. The story was far from over, but part one had set the tone, establishing a drama of epic proportions. The stage was set, the players defined, and the audience captivated, waiting for the next chapter of a saga that promised betrayal, confrontation, and shocking revelations at every turn. The family, the industry, and the public were all caught in a web of intrigue. And as the lights dimmed, one thing was clear. The monsters Chappelle had warned about were closer than anyone could have imagined. The morning after the explosive special, the ripple effects of Dave Chappelle's revelations were already evident. Social media feeds were flooded with clips from the show, hashtags trending worldwide, and fans dissecting every word, every pause, every expression. Even those who hadn't watched the live special found themselves drawn into the whirlwind of speculation. Charlie Kirk, meanwhile, had gone into a private retreat, reportedly conferring with his wife and closest advisors to determine how to respond. The atmosphere in the Kirk household, sources claimed, was tense and filled with unspoken accusations, the kind that could fracture even the strongest bonds. According to insiders, the first confrontation occurred in the early hours of the morning. Charlie's wife, known publicly for her composure, had allegedly been seething over what had been revealed. Voices reportedly raised behind closed doors, with phrases like, "How could this be public? And you promised me this would stay private," echoing down the hallways of their estate. The situation, described as volatile by those close to the family, suggested that what Chappelle had teased on stage was only a fraction of the truth. Friends and confidants claimed that the family was divided, with some members siding with Charlie and others with his wife, creating a tense standoff that threatened to spill over into the public eye. Chappelle's revelation wasn't limited to personal details alone. He hinted at broader industry implications, suggesting that some of the maneuvers involving Charlie Kirk's wife had repercussions for colleagues, business partners, and even political allies. Whispers of backroom deals, secret communications, and strategic manipulations had industry insiders on edge. One executive, speaking on the condition of anonymity, claimed that the special had exposed a network of influence and deception that no one wanted to talk about publicly. The fallout was immediate, with agents, managers, and publicists rushing to assess the damage and plan damage control strategies. The tension intensified when previously private messages allegedly surfaced online, text threads, and emails, supposedly exchanged between Charlie Kirk's wife and various industry players, hinted at agreements, disagreements, and unspoken promises that had long been hidden from public view. Some messages suggested personal favors in exchange for professional gain, while others hinted at rivalries that had been simmering just below the surface. Fans reacted with shock and disbelief, many questioning whether the polished public images they had admired were nothing more than facades hiding deeper conflicts. One of the most shocking moments, according to eyewitness accounts, occurred during a private family meeting convened to address the revelations. Emotions ran high as family members confronted one another, with accusations flying and tears reportedly shed. Charlie himself, described as visibly frustrated, allegedly demanded explanations for actions that had remained hidden for months. His wife, on the other hand, was said to have countered with her own grievances, revealing feelings of isolation and betrayal that had festered behind closed doors. The room, insiders claimed, had been charged with tension, each word carrying the weight of years of unresolved conflict. Outside the household, fans and industry observers speculated about potential alliances and fractures. Rumors suggested that some of Charlie Kirk's closest friends had begun re-evaluating their loyalty, unsure whether to remain supportive or distance themselves in light of the revelations. Online forums were ablaze with theories, from claims of secret deals with entertainment executives to whispers of political leverage being used to manipulate outcomes. Every new rumor, whether substantiated or not, added fuel to a narrative that was rapidly spinning out of control. Chappelle, meanwhile, appeared to maintain his usual enigmatic composure. Reports indicate that he received calls and messages from industry insiders, friends of the family, and even media executives, all attempting to gauge what he knew and what might still be revealed. His hints of additional secrets created an atmosphere of suspense, leaving everyone involved on edge. Insiders noted that while Chappelle had presented only fragments of the full story, the implications alone were enough to unsettle those who had believed themselves untouchable. The drama escalated further when a series of late-night phone calls allegedly took place between Charlie Kirk's wife and various industry figures. These calls, described as tense and urgent, reportedly involved discussions about public statements, private reconciliations, and damage control measures. One source suggested that the wife was determined to assert control over the narrative, while another claimed that Charlie felt blindsided and undermined by the very people who should have been allies. The resulting tension was a volatile mix of personal and professional stakes, with each decision carrying potentially explosive consequences. As days passed, the story expanded beyond the confines of the household. Social media influencers, podcasters, and online news outlets dissected every aspect of the revelations, amplifying the drama and creating a maelstrom of public interest. Memes, reaction videos, and opinion threads dominated feeds, turning a private family matter into a viral phenomenon. Fans debated loyalties, speculated about hidden motives, and scrutinized past behavior for clues to what had really been going on. The online frenzy only added pressure to an already strained family, as public scrutiny intensified the stakes of every private conversation. Unexpected twists continued to emerge. Reports surfaced of individuals once considered loyal allies turning into critics or whistleblowers, exposing additional layers of secrecy and tension. These new revelations suggested that Chappelle's initial disclosures were just the tip of the iceberg, and that the true extent of the network of influence, hidden agendas, and personal betrayals was far greater than anyone had imagined. Fans, journalists, and insiders alike found themselves drawn into a narrative that was rapidly evolving, with each new detail prompting further speculation and heightened emotions. At the heart of it all, the family remained divided. Charlie Kirk and his wife were reportedly struggling to navigate the storm, balancing personal grievances with public perception. Sources suggested that moments of reconciliation were fleeting, often interrupted by new revelations or misunderstandings. The children, siblings, and extended family were said to be caught in the crossfire, struggling to maintain neutrality while being pulled into conflicts that had long been hidden from public view. The household, once a symbol of stability, now resembled a battleground of emotions, alliances, and strategic maneuvering. Meanwhile, the industry's reaction added another layer of complexity. Executives, agents, and publicists began strategizing ways to mitigate reputational damage, some considering legal action while others explored opportunities to leverage the situation for gain. Whispers of potential collaborations, endorsements, and conflicts of interest were circulating, and insiders admitted that the fallout could reshape professional relationships in ways no one had anticipated. Chappelle's revelation, initially seen as shocking but isolated, was now understood to have ramifications far beyond the Kirk family. The tension reached a critical point when reports emerged of an intense confrontation between Charlie Kirk's wife and a former confidant. The meeting, held in a private location away from cameras, allegedly involved accusations, threats, and dramatic emotional displays. Sources claimed that the encounter revealed hidden fractures, unresolved grievances, and the lengths to which some individuals were willing to go to protect themselves. The drama, insiders noted, was becoming increasingly difficult to contain, with each new revelation threatening to spark further conflict and public exposure. Fans, meanwhile, remained captivated. Every update, every leaked message, every rumor fueled a cycle of fascination and speculation. Social media platforms became arenas for debate, with viewers dissecting each word, gesture, and reaction for clues about the unfolding drama. The story had transcended entertainment, becoming a cultural touchstone, a reflection of hidden tensions, human complexity, and the often unseen consequences of private actions spilling into public view. As part 2 of the story continued to unfold, one thing became clear. The web of secrets, betrayals, and alliances surrounding Charlie Kirk and his wife was far from fully revealed. Chappelle's initial revelations had set off a chain reaction that would continue to shape family dynamics, industry relationships, and public perception for months to come. The stakes were higher than ever, the players more conflicted, and the potential for explosive confrontations greater than anyone could have imagined. The audience, both in person and online, remained riveted, unable to look away as the drama spiraled, promising more revelations, more twists, and more shocks in the chapters yet to come. The following week, the intensity of the fallout only grew. Insiders reported that Charlie Kirk and his wife were now holding extended meetings with advisors, legal teams, and PR specialists, trying to determine how to manage the storm Chappelle had unleashed. The couple, once seen as a unified front, appeared increasingly fractured, with sources claiming that disagreements over strategy had become personal battles. The air around the household, according to neighbors and close friends, was thick with tension, the kind that could be felt through walls and heard in hushed conversations over breakfast and dinner. Meanwhile, social media had become a battleground of its own. Fans dissected every public appearance, every interview, and even casual social media posts for clues about who was winning the battle and who was struggling to maintain composure. Hashtags trended constantly, and fan theories flourished, some claiming hidden motives, others pointing to secret alliances that had long been operating behind the scenes. The narrative was evolving almost hourly, creating an environment where every statement, every gesture could be misinterpreted or weaponized in the public eye. Inside the household, sources claimed that emotions had escalated to unprecedented levels. Arguments reportedly became heated over small decisions that had previously seemed insignificant. Now amplified by the scrutiny and pressure of public attention, Charlie allegedly demanded explanations for actions his wife had taken, questioning why certain conversations had been withheld or why some alliances seemed to shift without notice. His wife, in turn, was said to have expressed feelings of isolation, frustration, and betrayal, emphasizing that she had been trying to navigate a complex network of pressures without adequate support. The clash of personal stakes and public perception created a volatile mix, leaving the family in a state of heightened tension. One particularly explosive development came when a series of leaked recordings allegedly surfaced online, purportedly capturing conversations between Charlie Kirk's wife and other industry insiders. In these clips, voices discussed private decisions, strategic alliances, and long-held grievances, shedding light on previously unknown dynamics within the household and the broader network of influence surrounding them. Fans and analysts reacted with shock, debating the authenticity and implications of the leaks. Some argued that they proved a pattern of manipulation and secrecy, while others suggested that context was missing, and the truth could be far more nuanced. As these revelations circulated, Charlie Kirk reportedly attempted to regain control of the narrative. He held private meetings with select friends and advisors, strategizing ways to respond publicly without escalating the drama further. Insiders claimed that he was struggling to balance personal emotions with professional image, aware that any misstep could have lasting consequences for his family, career, and public standing. The pressure of being under a microscope intensified the already delicate situation, making every decision feel consequential and every reaction scrutinized. Additionally, the dynamics between the couple and their inner circle reportedly began to shift dramatically. Some longtime allies were said to be distancing themselves, wary of being implicated or caught in the crossfire of emerging conflicts. Others allegedly seized the opportunity to position themselves advantageously, leveraging loyalty and access for strategic gain. The result, according to sources, was a rapidly evolving web of relationships, where trust had eroded and new alliances formed under the intense pressure of public and private scrutiny. Outside observers couldn't get enough. Media outlets, entertainment analysts, and even political commentators jumped into the conversation, attempting to piece together a coherent narrative from the torrent of information. The story transcended conventional boundaries, blurring the lines between entertainment, politics, and human drama. The fact that Dave Chappelle, a figure renowned for comedy, had ignited such a serious wave of exposure only added layers of intrigue. Fans debated whether the revelations were a stunt, a calculated risk, or a sincere unveiling of truths long concealed. Tensions reportedly reached a boiling point during a private family confrontation captured in leaked reports. Charlie Kirk and his wife were allegedly engaged in a heated discussion about loyalty, transparency, and control over their public narrative. Friends claimed that the argument involved pointed accusations, emotional outbursts, and moments of silence heavy with unspoken grievances. According to sources, the confrontation revealed not only fractures within the couple's relationship, but also unresolved conflicts with siblings and close friends who had become entangled in the fallout. The room, insiders said, had been charged with raw emotion, every word weighted with the potential to redefine alliances and relationships. The drama extended beyond the family, affecting business relationships and public perception. Some associates reportedly reevaluated collaborations. Cautious about being associated with a household under intense scrutiny, others reportedly saw an opportunity to advance their interests amid the chaos, exploiting uncertainties for professional or personal advantage. The combination of family tension, public exposure, and industry maneuvering created a pressure cooker environment where even minor actions could trigger major consequences. As the saga unfolded, new twists emerged. Reports suggested that Charlie Kirk's wife had begun reaching out to select members of the media and social platforms, controlling certain leaks to steer narratives in her favor. Some insiders described this as an effort to reclaim agency, a strategic move to prevent being completely defined by Chappelle's revelations. Yet, even with these efforts, emotions reportedly remained raw, with unresolved conflicts simmering beneath the surface, threatening to erupt at any moment. Public reaction continued to intensify. Fan groups, forums, and online communities dissected every leaked detail, comparing it with past interviews, posts, and public appearances. The speculation created an echo chamber where interpretations ranged from scandalous betrayal to strategic storytelling. Influencers and content creators capitalized on the story, producing commentary, analysis, and reactions that spread rapidly, further amplifying the drama. The pressure on the family and the industry network continued to escalate, as every action, response, or silence became fodder for discussion. Amid this turbulence, Charlie Kirk reportedly struggled with trust issues in both personal and professional spheres. Close friends described him as conflicted, trying to navigate the dual challenges of repairing relationships while managing public perception. The stakes were particularly high given the intermingling of family, professional, and political networks. Insiders claimed that the family's private disagreements had spilled into professional decisions, making even mundane choices politically and socially significant. Unexpectedly, additional twists surfaced when messages and interactions involving Charlie's extended circle became public. Previously unseen exchanges highlighted hidden loyalties, secret concerns, and the subtle maneuvering that had long taken place behind closed doors. These developments deepened the narrative, demonstrating that the web of influence and tension extended beyond the immediate family to include business associates, friends, and even media figures. Fans reacted with shock, fascinated by the growing complexity and intrigue. The mounting pressure reportedly led to several private attempts at reconciliation, but sources suggested that these efforts were fragile and easily disrupted by the constant influx of information and public scrutiny. Charlie and his wife were said to be struggling to find common ground, each attempting to assert control over the narrative while grappling with personal grievances. Insiders reported that small breakthroughs in communication were often overshadowed by new revelations, making stability elusive and heightening emotional tension. Meanwhile, social media speculation reached unprecedented levels. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary threads dominated online platforms, further amplifying the story's reach. Every public appearance by Charlie Kirk, his wife, or even distant family members was scrutinized for signs of strain, defiance, or reconciliation. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, with public perception influencing private decisions and private actions shaping public discourse. The interplay of these forces created an ongoing drama that seemed impossible to contain. As the second part of the saga progressed, it became increasingly clear that Chappelle's initial revelations were only the beginning. The family, the industry, and the public were now deeply enmeshed in a story that was evolving daily, each development building on the last, creating suspense, intrigue, and emotional intensity that captivated audiences everywhere. Alliances continued to shift, secrets continued to emerge, and the question of who would emerge intact remained uncertain. The world watched, social media buzzed, and insiders whispered, all as Charlie Kirk and his wife navigated the treacherous terrain laid bare by Chappelle's explosive disclosures. Tensions, stakes, and emotions ran high, promising further revelations, confrontations, and unexpected twists in the chapters yet to come, leaving everyone captivated and anticipating what would happen next. The intensity of the situation escalated rapidly over the next several days. Reports surfaced that Charlie Kirk's wife had been in near-constant communication with certain industry insiders, attempting to manage the fallout from Chappelle's explosive revelations. According to anonymous sources, these conversations were strategic, carefully crafted to control what information reached the public while simultaneously attempting to protect her personal image. The situation, insiders noted, had become a delicate balancing act, where one misstep could trigger another wave of scandal. Inside the Kirk household, tensions reportedly reached new heights. Sources claimed that arguments between Charlie and his wife had become more frequent and more charged, fueled by the stress of public scrutiny and private grievances. Small disagreements that might once have been dismissed were now magnified, each word carrying the weight of exposure and consequence. Friends described the environment as volatile, with both parties alternately defensive and confrontational, struggling to maintain composure under the relentless gaze of social media and the press. The drama extended to the family's extended network as well. Siblings, close friends, and confidants were said to be caught in the middle of the unfolding storm, forced to take sides or navigate the treacherous terrain of loyalty and disclosure. Some reportedly aligned with Charlie, expressing frustration over the perceived mishandling of the situation by his wife. Others sympathized with her, acknowledging the pressures and challenges she faced in managing personal and professional responsibilities amid public scrutiny. The result was a fractured network, each relationship subject to strain and reevaluation as the story developed. Further fueling speculation were reports of leaked documents and screenshots, allegedly exchanged between Charlie Kirk's wife and other figures within the industry. These materials, shared anonymously online, were said to reveal negotiations, personal grievances, and secret agreements that had long been kept out of the public eye. The emergence of these documents intensified debates among fans and analysts, prompting widespread discussion about accountability, trust, and the blurred line between private actions and public perception. In parallel, Chappelle's role in the unfolding drama became a subject of intense interest. Insiders reported that he had been contacted repeatedly by media outlets, influencers, and industry insiders seeking clarification or additional commentary. His measured responses, often cryptic and carefully worded, only fueled speculation about what else he knew and whether further revelations might be forthcoming. The tension surrounding his involvement added a layer of suspense, leaving audiences and insiders alike unsure of what would emerge next. Amidst the public frenzy, the Kirk household reportedly attempted damage control. Private meetings, text exchanges, and calls with publicists and advisors were allegedly aimed at coordinating statements, managing social media narratives, and mitigating reputational damage. However, sources suggested that these efforts were complicated by ongoing emotional conflicts and unresolved grievances, making it difficult to present a unified front. The interplay of personal emotion and public strategy created an environment of constant uncertainty, where each decision was scrutinized and each response potentially explosive. Unexpected developments continued to emerge. One source claimed that Charlie Kirk's wife had begun leveraging selective disclosures to assert control over the narrative, releasing information in ways that framed her actions positively while casting doubt on the motives of others. This strategic maneuvering reportedly provoked intense reactions from Charlie, who was said to feel blindsided and increasingly frustrated by the public portrayal of events. The dynamic between the couple, insiders noted, was increasingly characterized by a push and pull of control, influence, and perception management. The impact of the story extended beyond the immediate household. Industry executives, agents, and collaborators were reportedly assessing the implications for ongoing projects, partnerships, and professional relationships. Concerns about reputational risk, loyalty, and alignment with the unfolding narrative prompted some to distance themselves while others attempted to capitalize on the situation. The intersection of personal drama and professional consequence created a complex web, with stakes extending far beyond the domestic sphere. Further complicating matters were reports of private confrontations between Charlie Kirk's wife and key allies. Sources described heated exchanges where accusations of betrayal, miscommunication, and strategic missteps were levied with intensity. These confrontations, insiders noted, revealed not only personal grievances but also broader tensions regarding influence, decision-making, and the control of information within the family and industry network. Each revelation seemed to deepen the divide, making reconciliation increasingly difficult. Public engagement remained at a fever pitch. Social media continued to serve as a platform for discussion, speculation, and judgment. Fans analyzed every video, statement, and post, drawing connections, forming theories, and debating the motives of all involved. The story became a shared narrative, with audience participation amplifying tension and shaping the trajectory of public perception. The interplay between private conflict and public engagement created a feedback loop that intensified both scrutiny and emotional stakes. Additionally, reports suggested that the couple was attempting to navigate external pressures from political and media figures who had an interest in the unfolding drama. Emails, calls, and meetings were reportedly arranged to manage perceptions, coordinate messaging, and address potential implications for broader networks. Insiders indicated that these interventions, while intended to stabilize the situation, sometimes exacerbated tensions by introducing new perspectives, conflicting advice, and competing priorities. As the saga unfolded, multiple new twists emerged. Leaked recordings, private messages, and selective public statements hinted at alliances shifting behind the scenes. With some friends and associates reevaluating loyalties and redefining their positions, insiders noted that these developments contributed to an environment of uncertainty and mistrust, where the motivations of each individual were scrutinized and every action could have unintended consequences. The story, initially centered on family secrets, had expanded into a multifaceted drama involving personal, professional, and public dimensions. Furthermore, the emotional toll on the family became increasingly apparent. Sources reported that both Charlie and his wife were experiencing heightened stress, frustration, and emotional fatigue as they navigated daily interactions, public scrutiny, and private confrontations. Attempts at reconciliation, while occasionally successful, were often overshadowed by new developments or lingering grievances, making stability fragile and temporary. The ongoing intensity of the situation contributed to a cycle of tension, reaction, and recalibration that insiders described as exhausting and potentially damaging to long-term relationships. Amid the chaos, Chappelle's influence persisted. His initial disclosures continued to frame the narrative, with audiences and insiders interpreting subsequent events through the lens he had established. Every new development was measured against his revelations, and speculation about further information from him created an undercurrent of suspense. The combination of his commentary, leaked materials, and strategic disclosures ensured that public attention remained fixed on the unfolding drama. As Part 3 of the saga began to take shape, one thing was clear: the network of relationships, secrets, and alliances surrounding Charlie Kirk and his wife was far more complex than initially perceived. The interplay of personal emotion, professional stakes, and public scrutiny created a high-pressure environment where trust was fragile. Motives were questioned and consequences were unpredictable. Each revelation, confrontation, and reaction contributed to a narrative that captivated audiences, challenged loyalties, and intensified the emotional stakes for everyone involved. The story, far from resolved, continued to unfold with increasing intensity. Every day brought new insights, new conflicts, and new opportunities for revelation. The family remained under pressure, the industry recalibrated in response, and the public remained riveted, eager for updates and speculating about what might happen next. The saga promised to continue, with suspense, drama, and emotional complexity ensuring that the narrative would dominate attention for the foreseeable future. As the days turned into weeks, the pressure on Charlie Kirk and his wife reportedly intensified. Insiders described a household in constant flux, with emotions swinging wildly between moments of attempted reconciliation and bursts of confrontation. Private meetings, phone calls, and text exchanges became battlegrounds, where every word and gesture was analyzed for hidden meaning. Friends of the family suggested that the couple was struggling to manage the delicate balance between personal grievances and the public perception of unity. Knowing that the eyes of millions were watching and judging, one particularly explosive report suggested that Charlie Kirk's wife had begun asserting more influence over the family's public messaging. Sources claimed she coordinated selective disclosures to social media and media outlets, framing events in a way that cast her decisions in a favorable light while raising questions about Charlie's choices. The resulting tension, insiders said, created a push-and-pull dynamic, with both parties vying for control of the narrative while trying to protect family stability. Each strategic move was met with counter-strategies, making private conversations increasingly high-stakes and emotionally charged. Further complicating the situation were leaked documents and screenshots that allegedly surfaced online, purportedly showing private exchanges between Charlie Kirk's wife and key figures in the entertainment and political world. These materials suggested negotiations, strategic alliances, and disagreements that had previously been hidden from public view. Fans and commentators dissected the leaks relentlessly, debating their authenticity and implications. The story had transcended family drama, becoming a multifaceted examination of influence, loyalty, and power dynamics. The emotional stakes within the household reportedly reached new heights during late-night confrontations. Insiders claimed that arguments over trust, loyalty, and control erupted unexpectedly, fueled by the relentless public scrutiny and pressure from ongoing revelations. According to sources, Charlie Kirk expressed frustration over perceived missteps and withheld information, While his wife highlighted feelings of isolation and the challenge of managing multiple pressures, the resulting exchanges were described as intense, raw, and deeply revealing, shedding light on fractures that had long been hidden beneath a carefully curated public image. Outside the home, the ripple effects continued to spread. Industry insiders, including executives, agents, and collaborators, reportedly adjusted their strategies in response to the unfolding situation. Some distanced themselves, wary of association with the household under scrutiny, while others sought to capitalize on shifting alliances and perceived opportunities. The drama had created a complex ecosystem where every action, from public statements to private discussions, had the potential to influence perceptions, relationships, and future decisions. Unexpected twists continued to emerge. Sources claimed that certain allies had changed their positions, revealing hidden motives or reevaluating loyalties in light of new information. The web of relationships grew increasingly intricate. With trust becoming a rare commodity and uncertainty dominating interactions, fans, analysts, and media observers speculated wildly, theorizing about alliances, betrayals, and potential reconciliations. The narrative was no longer contained within the family. It had expanded into a broader examination of influence, perception, and power. Meanwhile, reports indicated that the emotional toll on the family was becoming severe. Both Charlie and his wife were said to be grappling with stress, fatigue, and frustration as they navigated private disputes and public scrutiny simultaneously. Moments of progress in communication were often disrupted by new revelations or misinterpretations, creating a cycle of tension and reaction. Sources describe the environment as exhausting, with each interaction carrying significant emotional and strategic weight. Social media and fan engagement amplified the ongoing tension. Every public appearance, comment, and post was scrutinized, generating speculation and debate. The story had taken on a life of its own, with audiences interpreting actions and statements in real time, often without complete context. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary threads multiplied rapidly, fueling a feedback loop where public perception influenced private behavior and private developments shaped online discourse. In addition to the personal and professional complexities, reports surfaced of covert interactions with political figures and media personalities. Emails, calls, and meetings were allegedly arranged to influence narratives, coordinate messaging, and mitigate potential fallout. Insiders suggested that these interactions introduced additional tension as advice, opinions, and strategic considerations sometimes conflicted with personal priorities and emotional realities within the household. The result was an increasingly complex and high-stakes environment, with consequences extending far beyond the immediate family. Tensions reportedly escalated further during private confrontations between Charlie, Kirk's wife, and previously loyal associates. Sources described intense exchanges involving accusations, defensive reactions, and attempts to assert control over both private and public narratives. These confrontations revealed lingering grievances, fractured loyalties, and subtle maneuvering aimed at protecting individual interests. Each incident added layers of complexity to an already volatile situation, highlighting the fragility of relationships under pressure and the difficulty of maintaining trust amidst ongoing revelations. Additionally, insiders suggested that Chappelle's initial disclosures continued to shape the unfolding narrative. Audiences, media outlets, and industry players reportedly framed subsequent developments through the lens he had established, interpreting actions, statements, and leaks as extensions of his revelations. The suspense surrounding potential further disclosures added tension to every interaction, leaving both the family and the broader network of associates uncertain about the trajectory of the story. As the saga continued, reports indicated that Charlie Kirk and his wife were attempting multiple strategies to manage both the personal and public dimensions of the drama. Private discussions, mediated conversations, and coordinated public messaging were allegedly employed to stabilize relationships and control perceptions. However, insiders noted that each attempt was fragile, often disrupted by unexpected developments or new leaks, keeping the household in a persistent state of tension. Unexpectedly, new layers of intrigue emerged as additional private exchanges became public. Messages and communications revealed shifting alliances, hidden grievances, and the subtle orchestration of narratives. Demonstrating that the network of influence and tension extended beyond the immediate family, the unfolding complexity fascinated audiences, who followed every update with a mix of disbelief, anticipation, and fascination. Amidst these developments, emotional stakes remained high. Both Charlie Kirk and his wife reportedly experienced heightened stress, frustration, and fatigue, navigating the intersection of private conflict, public scrutiny, and professional obligations. Sources suggested that even moments of attempted reconciliation were overshadowed by new developments, leaks, or miscommunications, making stability elusive and contributing to a cycle of tension, reaction, and recalibration. As Part 4 of the saga unfolded, it became evident that the story was far from resolved. The interplay of personal emotion, strategic maneuvering, and public scrutiny ensured that every interaction, statement, and disclosure carried amplified significance. Fans, media, and insiders remained captivated, closely monitoring developments and speculating about future twists. The narrative, rich with conflict, secrecy, and shifting alliances, continued to evolve, promising further revelations, confrontations, and dramatic outcomes in the chapters yet to come. The saga, complex and multifaceted, had firmly established itself as a spectacle of intrigue, emotion, and suspense, captivating audiences and insiders alike. The family remained under immense pressure, the industry remained alert, and the public remained riveted, eager to witness what would happen next. The stage was set for further drama, and the story promised to continue, each new development building upon the last, heightening stakes and deepening the intrigue surrounding Charlie Kirk, his wife, and the world they navigated. As the saga reached what many believed was its peak, the family faced a relentless tidal wave of attention, scrutiny, and speculation. Every moment of privacy they attempted to preserve was shattered by flashing cameras, viral clips, and public commentary. Trevor, still raw with emotion, paced the living room, phone in hand, eyes scanning the latest headlines. "They're not seeing us as people," he said, voice tight with frustration. "We're just characters in their story." Patricia, exhausted but determined, tried to ground the family. "We have to hold together," she said softly. "That's all we can control." The youngest siblings huddled silently, overwhelmed by the storm that had engulfed their lives. Ice Cube's role in the unfolding drama remained both pivotal and enigmatic. Every subtle gesture, old interview, or ambiguous social media post was dissected by fans, analysts, and journalists. Some hailed him as a fearless exposer of hidden truths, while others condemned him as manipulative, exploiting tragedy for attention and influence. The ambiguity of his motives only intensified public fascination, fueling endless speculation and debate. Inside the FBI, investigators worked tirelessly to trace the origins of the leak, verify its authenticity, and determine the broader implications. One agent, speaking on condition of anonymity, revealed, "The files are genuine. Our focus is now on understanding how they were obtained, the channels through which they were distributed, and whether any legal violations occurred. The implications are This confirmation only amplified the public frenzy, as journalists and commentators dissected every word for hidden meaning and possible conspiracy. The family home had become a crucible of emotion. Arguments flared over how to respond publicly, whether to issue statements, and how to protect the youngest siblings from relentless attention. Trevor's frustration boiled over, leading to tense confrontations with relatives. Marcus, always strategic, monitored media coverage and social media reactions, anticipating the next wave of public scrutiny. Patricia attempted to mediate, her calm voice a beacon amid chaos. "We must remain united," she urged. "Division only strengthens the storm outside." The public's obsession intensified when a new series of allegedly leaked documents emerged, contradicting previous releases and revealing deeper conflicts. Social media erupted with debates, speculation, and conspiracy theories. Some claimed these files proved deliberate manipulation or cover-ups, while others argued they were fabrications designed to provoke outrage. Regardless of truth or authenticity, the emotional impact was undeniable. Fans, critics, and the family found themselves trapped in a whirlwind of fear, anger, and uncertainty, each new revelation intensifying the drama. The leaked files and videos sparked heated public confrontations, including an explosive clip showing two associates arguing over the leak's consequences. Voices escalated, accusations flew, and tension erupted in a spectacle that captivated millions. Fans analyzed gestures, tone, and unspoken motives, replaying the clip obsessively. The family, witnessing this public display, was left grappling with feelings of betrayal, fear, and anger, struggling to maintain composure amid relentless scrutiny. Legal pressures mounted as lawyers representing multiple parties issued statements, threatened action, and demanded transparency. Social media analysts debated potential lawsuits, federal intervention, and reputational consequences. What began as personal tragedy had escalated into a nationwide spectacle, with every leak, rumor, and revelation carrying immense stakes. Inside Charlie Kirk's family home, emotions remained volatile. Trevor, consumed by frustration, demanded clarity, accountability, and justice. Patricia attempted to maintain calm, emphasizing unity and careful action. Marcus monitored media coverage, strategizing responses to each development. The youngest siblings, overwhelmed and confused, sought comfort in one another, navigating fear and uncertainty. The atmosphere was saturated with tension, anxiety, and unresolved conflict. Public fascination with Ice Cube's leak showed no signs of waning. Journalists, news outlets, and fans dissected every development, speculating about motives, authenticity, and conspiracies. Some celebrated Ice Cube as a truth-teller, exposing hidden injustices, while others vilified him as reckless, exploiting grief for personal gain. The polarized debate fueled an insatiable appetite for drama, keeping the narrative evolving and intensifying by the hour. Unexpectedly, an additional set of documents surfaced, hinting at previously unknown conflicts and secrets. The online reaction was immediate and intense, further dividing fans, critics, and the family. Each new revelation heightened emotions, deepened divisions, and intensified public scrutiny. The family struggled to navigate the relentless attention while attempting to safeguard their emotional well-being and privacy. As night fell, the family convened for what felt like a final discussion. Patricia, tears streaming, implored unity and resilience. Trevor's voice shook with anger, demanding transparency, accountability, and justice. Marcus, ever vigilant, continued to monitor media coverage and anticipate developments. The youngest siblings, caught in the emotional turbulence, sought solace in one another. The room was charged with tension, fear, and anticipation, reflecting the worldwide obsession with the saga. The story's momentum showed no sign of slowing. Ice Cube's leak had created a spectacle of grief, betrayal, and public obsession. Every new twist, document, and viral post intensified the drama, testing trust, loyalty, and resilience. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, consuming everyone involved and captivating audiences around the globe. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the family remained divided, navigating a storm that seemed unending. By the end of the week, the consequences of Ice Cube's leak were undeniable. The family remained emotionally drained and under constant scrutiny. Fans, journalists, and the global public remained captivated, dissecting every gesture, comment, and development. The saga had transformed from a tragic personal event into a worldwide spectacle of intrigue, emotion, and suspense. Tension, drama, and public obsession set the stage for even more revelations, confrontations, and unexpected twists. The story was far from over, and the world watched, fascinated, horrified, and eager for the next explosive chapter. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the family remained divided, navigating a storm that seemed impossible to escape. The narrative had become a phenomenon of grief, betrayal, and public obsession, leaving everyone wondering what the next shocking revelation would bring. With the main body now concluded, the stage is perfectly set for the conclusion and call to action, where unresolved questions, dramatic outcomes, and viewer engagement will take center stage. As the public frenzy showed no signs of slowing, new developments reportedly intensified the pressure on Charlie Kirk and his wife. Sources claimed that the couple's attempts to regain control over their narrative were met with increasing difficulty, as leaks, rumors, and media scrutiny continued to flood social channels. Insiders suggested that both Charlie and his wife were struggling to navigate the constant attention, balancing the desire to maintain private dignity with the unavoidable exposure of their personal lives. One report indicated that Charlie Kirk's wife had initiated private discussions with select media outlets and influential figures, strategically releasing controlled pieces of information to counteract damaging narratives. According to sources, this calculated approach was intended to shift public perception, highlight her perspective, and minimize the impact of earlier revelations. While some viewed these efforts as a clever maneuver, others claimed it created further tension within the household, as Charlie reportedly felt undermined and frustrated by the public framing of events. Inside the home, tensions were said to have escalated dramatically. Sources described arguments revolving around trust, transparency, and accountability, with both parties expressing long-held frustrations that had been exacerbated by the ongoing public attention. Charlie allegedly demanded explanations for perceived lapses in communication, while his wife reportedly emphasized the emotional toll of living under constant scrutiny. These exchanges, insiders noted, were emotionally charged and revealing, highlighting underlying fractures that had been developing long before Chappelle's revelations. The ripple effects of the story extended beyond the household, impacting the family's extended network. Siblings, close friends, and advisors were reportedly drawn into the conflict, pressured to take sides or mediate between conflicting interests. Some allies allegedly aligned themselves with Charlie, supporting his attempts to manage public perception and maintain control over strategic decisions. Others reportedly sympathized with his wife, acknowledging the difficulties she faced and the pressures of managing her own public and private responsibilities. The result, insiders suggested, was a network increasingly fraught with tension and uncertainty. Further complicating the scenario were reports of leaked emails and private messages that surfaced online. Allegedly, documenting interactions between Charlie Kirk's wife and influential figures in the industry. These communications reportedly revealed a mix of negotiations, personal grievances, and strategic decision-making that had long been concealed from public view. Fans and analysts dissected the materials, debating their significance and authenticity. The story, originally framed around family drama, had expanded to encompass broader questions of influence, loyalty, and control within professional and social networks. The emotional stakes reportedly intensified during private confrontations that took place late at night. Sources described arguments filled with pointed accusations, defensive responses, and moments of raw vulnerability. Charlie Kirk was said to express frustration over perceived manipulations, while his wife emphasized her own sense of isolation and the emotional burden of constant oversight. These confrontations, insiders noted, revealed the deep complexity of the household dynamics, underscoring the difficulty of maintaining cohesion under relentless scrutiny. Meanwhile, Chappelle's influence on the unfolding events continued. Insiders suggested that audiences, media outlets, and industry figures interpreted subsequent developments through the lens he had established, framing actions and statements within the context of his revelations. The suspense surrounding potential further disclosures added tension to the environment, leaving the family and associates uncertain about what might come next. Public interest remained intense. Social media platforms were flooded with discussion, speculation, and analysis. Fans scrutinized every public appearance, post, and statement, generating a constant stream of commentary that amplified the pressure on the household. Memes, reaction videos, and threads dissecting perceived motives and alliances proliferated, creating a feedback loop where online speculation influenced private behavior and private events fueled public discourse. In addition to domestic and public pressures, political and industry figures reportedly became involved. Emails, phone calls, and private meetings were organized to address potential fallout, coordinate messaging, and protect reputational interests. Insiders suggested that these interventions sometimes created further tension, introducing conflicting advice and priorities into an already volatile situation. The resulting environment was complex and high stakes, with consequences extending far beyond the immediate family. As the saga unfolded, additional twists emerged. Previously loyal allies reportedly shifted positions, hidden motives became apparent, and the intricate web of influence, loyalty, and secrecy expanded. Insiders noted that these developments increased uncertainty, eroded trust, and heightened emotional stakes. Fans and commentators were captivated by the evolving narrative, interpreting each new revelation as a further escalation of a story that had grown far beyond its original scope. Reports also indicated that Charlie Kirk and his wife were attempting multiple strategies to stabilize relationships and control public perception. Private discussions, mediated conversations, and carefully timed disclosures were employed to manage tensions. Yet, insiders noted that these efforts were fragile and frequently disrupted by new information or leaks. The household remained under intense pressure, with stability often fleeting and uncertainty ever present. Leaks and emerging communications added further complexity. Messages highlighting shifting alliances, grievances, and strategic maneuvering demonstrated that the network of tension extended beyond the immediate family. Insiders described the situation as a constantly evolving puzzle, where every interaction had potential consequences and every revelation could trigger new reactions. Fans remained deeply engaged, following developments with fascination, speculation, and anticipation. Emotionally, the stakes remained high. Sources suggested that both Charlie Kirk and his wife were experiencing fatigue, frustration, and stress, navigating a landscape where personal conflicts, public scrutiny, and professional obligations were inseparable. Even brief moments of reconciliation were overshadowed by new revelations or misinterpretations, making long-term stability difficult to achieve. The cycle of tension, reaction, and recalibration continued, keeping the household in a heightened state of alert. As Part 5 progressed, the narrative grew increasingly complex. The interplay of personal emotion, strategic maneuvering, and public perception ensured that every statement, action, and decision carried amplified significance. Insiders suggested that alliances continued to shift. New information emerged daily, and the potential for dramatic confrontations remained high. The saga captivated audiences, drawing attention to every development and fueling anticipation for what would unfold next. The ongoing story had firmly established itself as a spectacle of intrigue and suspense. Charlie Kirk and his wife remained under immense pressure, their household a microcosm of broader dynamics involving trust, influence, and perception. Fans, media, and insiders watched closely, aware that each new revelation could redefine relationships, reputations, and the course of the drama. The stage was set for further twists, confrontations, and revelations, ensuring that attention and speculation would remain intense in the chapters yet to come. As the saga entered its next phase, insiders reported that Charlie Kirk and his wife were facing mounting pressure from all sides. Sources claimed that the couple's attempts to regain control over their public narrative were complicated by continuous leaks, ongoing social media speculation, and intense media scrutiny. According to these accounts, both Charlie and his wife were navigating a minefield where every word, gesture, and decision was amplified, analyzed, and interpreted, leaving little room for privacy or error. Reports suggested that Charlie Kirk's wife had been strategically coordinating selective disclosures to certain media outlets and social platforms. Insiders indicated that these efforts aimed to shift public perception, assert her perspective, and mitigate the impact of earlier revelations. While some viewed these maneuvers as a calculated effort to regain agency, sources suggested they also fueled tension within the household. As Charlie allegedly felt blindsided and frustrated by the framing of events inside the home, tensions reportedly escalated during private confrontations. Sources described emotionally charged arguments that revolved around trust, loyalty, transparency, and control over public messaging. Charlie Kirk allegedly demanded explanations for perceived missteps and withheld information, while his wife emphasized the personal and emotional burden of constant scrutiny. Insiders noted that these exchanges were intense and revealing, highlighting deep fractures in the household dynamic that had been exposed by Chappelle's initial revelations. The conflict reportedly extended to the family's broader network of friends and associates. Siblings, close friends, and advisors were said to be caught in the middle, pressured to take sides or mediate between conflicting interests. Some aligned with Charlie, supporting his efforts to control the narrative and maintain cohesion, while others sympathized with his wife, recognizing the challenges she faced in managing both personal and professional pressures. The resulting environment, insiders noted, was fraught with tension, uncertainty, and shifting alliances. Further fueling speculation were leaked communications, screenshots, and private messages allegedly surfacing online. These documents reportedly highlighted negotiations, grievances, and strategic decision-making that had long been concealed from public view. Fans, analysts, and commentators dissected the materials relentlessly, debating their authenticity and implications. The story, initially framed as family drama, had expanded into a multi-layered exploration of loyalty, influence, and power dynamics, both personal and professional. Additionally, insiders reported that Chappelle's involvement continued to shape the narrative. Audiences, media outlets, and industry figures were said to interpret subsequent developments through the lens established by his initial revelations. The anticipation of further disclosures added tension, leaving the family and associates in a heightened state of uncertainty. Each new development seemed to escalate the stakes, drawing attention to previously unseen vulnerabilities and unresolved conflicts. As the drama continued, private confrontations reportedly grew more intense. Sources described exchanges filled with pointed accusations, defensive reactions, and raw emotion. Charlie Kirk allegedly voiced frustration over perceived manipulations, while his wife expressed feelings of isolation, stress, and exhaustion. Navigating the dual pressures of personal conflict and public scrutiny, insiders noted that these moments revealed the depth of the household's internal struggles, emphasizing the difficulty of maintaining stability amid relentless external attention. Meanwhile, social media remained a critical arena for public engagement. Fans scrutinized every appearance, post, and statement, generating endless discussion, speculation, and debate. The constant commentary created a feedback loop in which online perception influenced private behavior, and private developments fed public discourse. Memes, reaction videos, and detailed analysis of every interaction proliferated, amplifying tension and keeping the story at the forefront of public attention. The interplay of political, professional, and personal pressures reportedly added additional layers of complexity. Insiders suggested that Charlie Kirk and his wife were in communication with key figures to manage potential fallout, coordinate messaging, and mitigate reputational risk. However, these interventions sometimes introduced conflicting priorities and advice, intensifying tensions and complicating the environment, sources claimed, was increasingly high-stakes with consequences extending far beyond the immediate household. New twists reportedly continued to emerge as alliances shifted and hidden motives came to light. Insiders described changing loyalties, strategic maneuvering, and revelations that further complicated the family and professional dynamics. The unfolding drama, insiders emphasized, was a constantly evolving narrative in which trust was fragile, stakes were high, and emotional intensity remained elevated. Fans and commentators were captivated, analyzing each development for clues and anticipating future confrontations. Reports also highlighted the ongoing emotional toll on Charlie Kirk and his wife. Sources suggested both were experiencing fatigue, stress, and frustration as they attempted to navigate the intersecting pressures of private disputes, public scrutiny, and professional obligations. Moments of reconciliation were reportedly short-lived, often overshadowed by new revelations or misunderstandings, creating a cycle of tension and emotional recalibration. The household remained under persistent strain, with stability fragile and fleeting. As the story moved forward, insiders indicated that the couple continued to employ multiple strategies to manage the evolving narrative. Private discussions, mediated conversations, and carefully timed public disclosures were reportedly used to stabilize relationships and influence perception. However, sources emphasized that these efforts were easily disrupted by leaks, social media speculation, and ongoing conflict, making the situation volatile and unpredictable. The web of influence, secrecy, and shifting alliances reportedly expanded as the saga unfolded. Leaked messages, private communications, and strategic interactions demonstrated that the tensions extended beyond the immediate family, involving friends, associates, and industry figures. Insiders described the environment as a hyper-sure ecosystem where each action had potential consequences. Every statement carried weight, and the unfolding drama demanded constant attention. The stakes remained exceptionally high. Sources indicated that Charlie Kirk and his wife were navigating a landscape in which personal grievances, professional considerations, and public perception were inseparable. Even brief moments of resolution were fragile, easily disrupted by new information or unanticipated reactions. The cycle of tension, reaction, and recalibration persisted, keeping the household in a state of heightened alert and uncertainty. As Part 6 progressed, the narrative's complexity and intensity had reached new heights. Insiders suggested that alliances continued to shift. Secrets were continually exposed, and the potential for dramatic confrontations remained high. The unfolding story captivated audiences, drawing attention to every development, and leaving fans, media, and insiders anticipating the next explosive twist. The saga had firmly established itself as a spectacle of intrigue, suspense, and emotional intensity. Charlie Kirk and his wife remained under immense pressure, their household a focal point of public fascination and industry observation. The interplay of trust, loyalty, and perception ensured that each revelation had amplified consequences, keeping audiences captivated and speculation rampant. The stage was set for the final resolutions, confrontations, and revelations that would define the trajectory of this high-stakes drama. And there you have it, the explosive drama that has left everyone talking. Charlie Kirk, his wife, and the web of secrets revealed by Dave Chappelle have taken us on a roller coaster of betrayals, confrontations, and jaw-dropping twists. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided, leaving questions that still linger. Who will regain control? Who will emerge stronger? And what secrets are yet to come? Now it's your turn. We want to hear what you think about this scandalous revelation. Do you believe Charlie Kirk's wife acted strategically? Or was she caught in a whirlwind of circumstances beyond her control? How do you think the family will recover, if at all, from this storm of public scrutiny and private conflict? Every comment counts, and your insights could spark the next wave of discussion. If you've been captivated by this story and want to stay updated on every shocking twist, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update, and turn on notifications for instant alerts when new revelations drop. Join the conversation, share your opinions, and be part of the community dissecting every detail of this unfolding drama. Remember, the story isn't over. Every post, leak, and revelation could change the game, and your voice matters in unpacking it all. So comment below, like, and subscribe, because the next chapter in this jaw-dropping saga could be just around the corner. Fans are watching, emotions are running high, and the industry's monsters are still lurking behind every twist. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and make your voice heard.